Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into the bleeding edge of the digital economy today, and it's going to be a fascinating journey because we're starting at the micro level. We're looking at individual, independent creators who are building highly profitable media empires right from their laptops. But we aren't stopping there. We're going to trace the actual technology powering their success all the way up to the macro level. We'll explore how tech giants are battling over the ethics of these tools, and finally, how the United Nations is stepping in to govern the future of artificial intelligence on a truly global scale. So it's a complete micro to macro view of the modern digital landscape. But let's start with a slightly provocative question. Imagine generating tens of thousands of dollars a month, capturing the attention of millions of viewers, and building a highly respected media brand, all without ever once stepping in front of a camera. No way, right? Well, actually, an entirely new class of digital entrepreneur is doing exactly this right now. They're completely redefining what it means to be a modern media company and proving that you really don't need a famous face to build a massive audience, as long as you have the right structural formula. Okay, let's dive into this. First up, the faceless video empire. Second, the AI generation boom. Third, the AI ethics divide. Fourth, guardrails versus creative freedom. And finally, global digital governance.
All right, Section 1, the faceless video empire, scale without an on-camera host.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is just how staggering the financial scale is here. We're looking at a very specific lane of content creation, where the actual product is the research and the narrative, not the personality of the presenter. Take Kurzgesagt in the science and philosophy niche. They use custom 2D animation and pull in an estimated $80,000 to $200,000 a month in revenue. Then you've got Brightside, which uses a highly efficient stock footage and narration model to generate up to $150,000 a month. And then you have channels like Cold Fusion in the tech and finance space. They create these beautiful, cinematic, investigative documentaries using just B-roll and a calm, authoritative voiceover, bringing in $20,000 to $60,000 monthly. I mean, these are robust, highly profitable digital businesses running entirely without an on-camera host. So, how exactly do they do it? Well, the DNA of a top-tier faceless channel relies on a very specific formula. The foundation is absolutely crucial. It's a research-driven, single-subject script. From there, they layer on voiceover narration and visuals like stock footage or custom animation. The smartest creators intentionally target high CPM niches, things like finance and tech, where advertisers pay a premium, sometimes anywhere from $8 to $40 per thousand views. But here is the critical takeaway for 2026. While it might be super tempting to just mass-produce content, the algorithm prioritizes watch time. The channels that actually compound and succeed are the ones where creators spend 8 to 20 hours heavily researching a single compelling narrative script. Deep research, not just automated volume, is the true competitive edge here. Moving on to Section 2, the AI generation boom, the tech powering new media. So, while deep research absolutely remains a human endeavor, the production process for these faceless empires is undergoing a massive revolution. We are in the midst of a generative AI boom that is literally putting Hollywood-level production capabilities straight into the hands of independent creators. Need visuals? Text-to-image models like Midjourney, DALL-E, and Stable Diffusion can instantly generate custom graphics. Need motion? Text-to-video models like OpenAI's Sora, Google's Veo, or Runway can conjure up cinematic B-roll from a simple prompt. For audio, tools like 11 Labs offer incredibly realistic speech synthesis, while Whisper handles your seamless transcription. You can even generate original soundtracks now using Suno or Udio. This tool stack is radically lowering the barrier to entry. It's making it faster and cheaper to build these media empires than ever before.
Which brings us to Section 3, the AI ethics divide, the corporate battle for control.
Now, because these powerful AI tools don't just exist in a vacuum, we've got to talk about AI ethics governance. As these models become capable of generating hyper-realistic video and audio completely on demand, the tech giants building them are facing immense pressure. AI ethics governance is essentially the framework of policies designed to ensure that these artificial intelligence systems remain responsible and secure, but without completely stifling the innovation that makes them so useful in the first place. AI is a dual-use technology. It's an incredible tool for creative liberation, like we just saw with our faceless channel creators, but it obviously also carries severe risks of misuse, from deepfakes to mass misinformation. Section 4, Guardrails versus Creative Freedom, a philosophical split. And this brilliantly illustrates the tension we're seeing right now. You've got this deep philosophical split, perfectly represented by two industry titans. On one side, we have Microsoft. They've adopted a highly cautious, safety-first, enterprise-friendly strategy. Their Copilot and Azure AI services use pre-trained moderation layers and dynamic content filters to aggressively block explicit, sensitive, or politically risky outputs. It's essentially a walled garden designed to protect corporate users from reputational fallout. But on the other side, we have OpenAI. And despite being close partners with Microsoft, OpenAI takes a diverging path. They prioritize open experimentation and flexible parameters for creative generation. OpenAI argues that human oversight, basically giving users the freedom to create and the responsibility to moderate themselves, is the key, rather than strict automated censorship. Actually, let's be clear here. This isn't about picking a good guy or a bad guy. Microsoft's strict filters are highly appealing to conservative enterprise clients who desperately need stability, while OpenAI's flexibility is exactly what developers and independent media creators rely on to push the boundaries of art and entertainment. Ultimately, the future won't be about choosing just one extreme. The organizations that succeed will be the ones that discover hybrid strategies, blending the creative open-endedness of OpenAI with the structured conscientious guardrails of Microsoft. It's really about finding that delicate point where innovation meets integrity. Finally, Section 5, Global Digital Governance. The UN steps in. So the crucial point is that this debate over what an AI should or shouldn't be allowed to generate has gotten way too big to be left solely to the boardrooms of tech corporations. This technology crosses borders instantly. So the global community is stepping in, backed by $8.2 million. That's the total financial commitment raised as of April 2025 for the UN's Digital Cooperation Fund. The global community recognizes that the equitable and safe distribution of digital technology absolutely requires multi-stakeholder collective action. This fund was created specifically to target policy opportunities around artificial intelligence, data governance, and open-source cooperation on a truly global scale. What's really fascinating here is looking at exactly who is backing this initiative. The fund has attracted a highly diverse coalition of international donors. You have contributions from European nations like Switzerland, Germany, and the Netherlands, standing right alongside major Asian tech hubs like Singapore, as well as the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. This diverse financial backing really proves that establishing shared ethical benchmarks for digital public infrastructure isn't just some regional concern. It is a unified global priority. And they are moving incredibly fast to address these issues. The Digital Cooperation Fund only launched in November of 2023, alongside an advisory body on AI meant to advance recommendations for international governance. By May of 2024, they had launched the Geneva Liaison Project. And then by January 2025, they initiated a massive project focused explicitly on the global cooperation on AI governance. They are actively pooling expertise and aligning digital governance with human rights across various jurisdictions as we speak. This all ladders up to a singular, unifying vision outlined by the UN Development Program. As they state, the Global Digital Compact sets out a digital future that is inclusive, open, sustainable, fair, safe, and secure. It's a massive undertaking, right? Trying to balance the incredible open-source creative freedom of the internet with the absolute necessity of keeping global citizens safe from the risks of unchecked technological scale. Which brings us to the ultimate crossroads. We've seen how independent creators use AI to build faceless empires. We've seen tech giants war over how heavily to restrict those very tools. And we've seen international policymakers step in to draft the rules of the road. So, as we push further into this digital frontier, will the future of artificial intelligence ultimately be defined by bottom-up human creativity, top-down corporate caution, or unified global governance? It's a giant puzzle, and the pieces are shifting as we speak. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this helped you structure your understanding of the digital economy today. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.